Don't watch me, watch Nolazine TV. It's the best video ever and subscribe to it.
It's Geedy P. You're now watching Nolazine TV. You dig?
Okay. Tell everybody where you from.
I'm from New Orleans. I grew up between the East and the Southern World. Lived in the Southern World, moved to the East. So I kind of got ties to both of them. Sometimes I know people be like, man, you got to pick one of them or whatever. I know people get on Tupac about how he always lead the East Coast out, but he repped the West. So I lived in both of them a lot because, you know, we grew up on Section 8. So I kind of East mostly, but I lived all my life in the 7. So I 7 more East.
Just New Orleans.
New Orleans, I guess you could say.
That's what I said,
Yeah, so big, yeah, New Orleans, yeah, everyone.
Okay. And so, also for everybody who like probably don't know, like tell them exactly, like what do you do?
Well, like I said, right now I'm just doing like this little stuff on Instagram that people seem to like. But originally, what I do is like my background is like A&R and music management and stuff like that. So I used to work with how I got into it. Like I said, I had got some equipment together for my brother and them, and started making music and bought our own little studio. And then he went to jail and caught some time in Angola. Then I started working with my cousin with his record label and doing like A&R at 0 to 60. That was the same label, the youngest one, Super Blanco from Squad Up, and S80 with the Meet Me Halfway song. I was working on A&R. Right. So I was doing that over there with my cousin label, and then I started managing BTY Youngin a little bit too. So management and A&R, like music executive, like, you know.
Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, you are becoming one on a journalist. Like, you know, the sort of, you know.
Yeah.
But it's a good way.
Right.
The way you do it.
Right.
Instead of being like a, academic.
Right. Well, I mean, I don't.
Just giving knowledge.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't really like the. I'm not really with all trying to like do this stuff just for views and likes and do negative stuff and all that. Like I was just always like on my Instagram, people like me because of that, because I just always speak my mind, and I might be speaking about Civil War, I might be speaking about criminal justice, I might be speaking about hip hop, which a lot of people like me to talk about, but I just really speak from my heart, and people seem to like it, and you know, that's what I do on Instagram. Geedy P Speaks.
And so let's talk about BTY. Oh, I'm sorry. So let's talk about BTY. Youngin first. And so how did you actually meet him?
Well, I met him my cousin, like I said, they had the label or whatever. Youngin was coming over by S80 to the studio, and I had met him one day when I heard that song, Don't Think I Just Spit That Shit, because S80 had produced that song. And I was like, man, who this dude is? He kind of reminded me of Lil Derek, Soulja Slim, and C Murder, but in a modern way. So when I heard him, I was blown away. But at the time, something kind of went on, and we were still working with my cousin, and Youngin had wound up going to jail. So my cousin was, you know, working with him at the time, and he was supposed to get out, but Youngin wound up just copping out to this charge, and he wound up doing some time upstate in Winfield. So when Youngin was in Paris, before he went upstate, he was saying, you know, he wrote me a letter and stuff like that. And I mean,
he built the buzz when most people know. Yeah, like he was the most talked about person.
In
jail. Like when he come home, he gonna take over.
Right, and I'm gonna tell you that story. So when he was in Paris, I remember I think he was on Beat 3 and stuff like that, and he wrote me in red ink, and I still got the letter. He said, "Gee, I know writing somebody in red is disrespectful, but I feel like I'm writing you in blood from my heart." And he was saying, "I never had a manager, but would you manage me?" So one day when we came from court, whatever, criminal court on Tulane and Broad, his mama had gave me a CD, so I took the CD. I went and got like CDs pressed up with the real covers on it. We got artwork done. My partner Rizzy had did that for me. And then I had got some free Youngin shirts made out from Philadelphia. And I thought about Gucci Mane and Pimp C, free Pimp C movement, so I remember how big that was. So I was like, man, if I get some shirts with Youngin face on there and put his Twitter name on there, a lot of people, because Instagram really wasn't pop. I don't even know if it was out this time, but it probably relatively new. So I was using the Twitter. And then we had got like all these old videos, and we started like releasing them like every other quarter or something like that, just to kind of re-put the old videos out there, like Don't Think I Just Spit That Shit, 40 with a hammer, on no hammer, stuff like that, you know. So that was creating a buzz again while he was in jail. So, you know, I was sending him shit. He had his little rider music being his own and stuff like that up there. And when he had got out in 2014, his brother was helping out too. His brother Sputter, he was helping out, getting the little RMR shit, and Sputter was helping out with helping me with the t-shirts, and his other brother, Big G, and everybody was helping out. It was like a team effort. But like I said, his Twitter went to going up. Everybody was retweeting the songs, his mixtape on that Piff. By the time he got out in 2014, right before his birthday, December 12th, he had 10,000 downloads on that Piff. And at that time, that was big, because I think Boosie album. And then I remember when Boosie dropped, I think For My Thugs, I think that sold 10,000 just units when Boosie dropped that album in the store. So for Youngin to do those downloads, I was like, damn, bro, you doing numbers. And he got out. He was so buzzing that I think somebody hollered at him when he was at Oakwood and put him on a show with Yo Gotti for Christmas that was at the Carver. And he did that show. Everybody was out there and they was showing love. Kelly Avoid them. Everybody was there. And you know, his buzz kept going up. Everybody was shouting him out. And we worked a little bit after that, and then we stopped working together. You know, we had our creative differences, our ideas, and I went back and worked with my cousin with S80, and that was around the time halfway started picking up. But shout out to Youngin, though. I was one of my favorite rappers because Youngin give you chills, and Youngin rap with a lot of passion, and he was so New Orleans, like Youngin could give the punchlines and bars like a lot of people from New Orleans like, but he was so New Orleans, and he, like I said, he was a modernized BG or Slim, and he had the attitude.
That what he made you feel it.
Yeah, you're gonna feel him. You're gonna get chills when you hear his music. It's real. It's gonna cut through.
Okay. And so let's talk about 0 to 360.
0 to 60. 0 to 60.
Oh, sorry, I said 0 to 360.
Yeah. 0 to 60.
Let's talk about 0 to 60. Matter of fact, hey, but I'm sorry, Raymond.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Raymond.
Well, Raymond, that's my cousin, man. Them, his mom is my auntie. That's my dad's older sister. So I grew him. So rest in peace, Rita, man. I grew him, Rita. Like I said, Raymond, that's my cousin. He had the label, and I had left college in Alabama. My cousin Chuck was like, man, you need to come, do the stuff with Cuz with the music and stuff. And my cousin Chuck was telling Raymond about, Geedy know a lot about that shit. So I came down and started working with my cousin, and he already had Soup at the time from Squad Up. So we was doing better, doing stuff like that. And that song was really, he was working it,
He had Soup in,
he had Soup. He had the Wild Ones out the St. Bernard Project, and he had Super Blanco. And like I said, that song was doing real good. Bet I do. Shout out Super. I remember I was telling somebody we had even opened up for Wiz Khalifa in Youngstown, Ohio. That was the first time I had seen Wiz perform, but we was doing that, and then Raymond had the song on Halfway with S80. That was real big. It started just growing a buzz online. 80 was doing it, went from doing little small weddings and shows to big old clubs, and everybody singing the song word for word.
Doing Spanish records.
Yeah, 80 wasn't doing the Spanish. But see, 80, mom and dad is from Honduras, so he has Spanish roots. So the people at the label thought that would have been a good idea, especially because the Spanish community is so big or whatever. It was only right or whatever to show his roots to Honduras and stuff. So that wound up getting so big, and we was doing shows all through Louisiana. Everybody, all the high schools, all Grammyland Southern, I think, did the song at Battle of the Bands. And then Wayne wound up taking us on tour, because Fee Banks had a good relationship with him. Fee and Rain real tight, and all of us grew up around the East, and went on tour, the dedication tour with Ray Shrimmer and Lil Wayne. And 80 was able to open up for him. It was like 20 or 30 some cities we had did, and we was all in Connecticut and Nebraska and everything. And like I said, so that was what I was doing at 0 to 60. And then, like I said, I started just, doing my own little stuff, the Street Dreams Army stuff, and working with Nice Guns, and then I just started doing this stuff on Instagram, just talking to people, just liked my personality and stuff, and that was just all grassroots, I guess.
And so how did you actually, come up, with that name?
What, you talking about Street Dreams Army?
Yeah.
Well, I always liked the Nas song Street Dreams, the song he made on It Was Written. I always liked that song, and I always liked it, just what Street Dreams represent, like people from the streets with a dream and from the ghetto. I feel like Allen Iverson, Jay-Z, Big Meech, anybody that was from the humble beginners that had a dream. I felt like Street Dreams. The Army part come from I was a big Cash Money and No Limit fan, and I felt like instead of saying Cash Money gang, a Street Dreams gang, a mafia or whatever, a crew or clique, I was like the Army is something and the soldiers is near and dear to us. So I was like Street Dreams Army, SDA, whatever. It just rolled off the tongue better, and it seemed New Orleans. So Street Dreams Army. That's like my supporters, like the people that retweet my stuff, share. I call them SDA, Street Dreams Army.
Okay. Because at first, but I thought it was like when record labels about them eat.
Well, yeah. It could kind of go that way and all that, and I was like, a lot of people been telling me that, and I want to do the management stuff, but I kind of went to doing this and this kind of went to working, but eventually it might go to managing. I don't know if I'll go back to that, really, like I said, start the record label and stuff like that, but right now I'm just trying to cultivate this following, and if it turns into that, if it turns into a blog, podcast, I don't know. I just been letting it happen organically, and it just been working. I don't plan this shit. I have conversation. I might have a conversation with you, D, tomorrow, and we might talk about something, and I might make a video and it might go viral. It be like that. I don't plan it. It just happened because it's what I feel. It happened natural.
So how big is New Orleans culture like to you?
The culture, New Orleans culture is very, very big. It's very rich and infectious, and you know our city like 300 plus years old. So the gumbo, and you know the Mardi Gras, the second line Indians, the food, you know everything make us so special. So our hip hop, everything New Orleans is really big to me, and it really mean a lot. And that's why I always tell people that we gotta kind of work together a little more, be willing to help one another, because if we come from a place where Haitians, you know, the Africans, the Irish, the Italians, the Spanish, the French, all these people, the Native Americans put this gumbo together with all their different ingredients, made a great dish, but all of them played a part. So if anybody should be able to understand people working together and coming together, it should be somebody from New Orleans, because we understand when a lot of people come together, great things can happen. That's why our accent's so different, because there's a lot of different cultures that came to these rivers and the Mississippi, and they brought their cultures, and these immigrants and slaves and stuff, and you get New Orleans swagger.
So like, you know, I've been watching the internet just recently, like it'd be funny when like people just be like, man, Louisiana people always mad.
Right.
Take a culture like, and I kind of wrote earlier like, man, anybody from New Orleans don't even claim Louisiana, so y'all need to actually correct it, right?
Okay, like I'm
New Orleans, like actually during my interview, if I could explain like the reason why New Orleans people claim New Orleans and they actually don't claim Louisiana. Like New Orleans is actually over like 300 years old.
Right.
And Louisiana is like 200 years old.
Well, that's what I was saying today. Because look, I disagree, and I'm glad you said that, D, because I always wanted to talk about that. New Orleans is older than most cities in America, like Philly older than Pennsylvania, Jamestown is older than Virginia. So all these places, the cities was there before the states was there. So of course, before King Louis said that Louisiana is named after me and my mama, it was New Orleans first, because they discovered that first. So the city's gonna always become before the state. So, but what I would say is that what I feel like when we divide up so much, we divide in the state and then we divide in the city. Oh, you from uptown, he from downtown, they from across the river, they don't count. No, LGs is a part.
Speaking of that, I'm glad you said that.
Right.
I was riding the Uber last week, and the man said that actually, when I'm like New Orleans was actually created,
right,
it was only the first quarter.
Right. It was, right. And back, right.
He said they didn't have no uptown.
But then they had back of town too and all that. But like you said, Algiers was there because a lot of, right. So they was there. That's where people was coming on the river, and a lot of slaves came in through the Algiers side. So that's a big war. The 15th is the biggest wars would be like the Ninth War, because the lower Ninth War, Marion and Bywater, lower Ninth War, upper Ninth War, the East. And then you'll get the 15th, which is the whole Algiers, then the Seventh War, and then all the other ones. But I'm just saying. So I always let everybody know, even though they're on the other bank of the Mississippi River, that's still New Orleans.
It was actually created before.
Right.
Before
a lot of parts that we claim now, like I said, the East, parts of Carrollton. Like Carrollton was a part of Jefferson Parish, and then we got that. Right. But that's a whole nother history lesson. But like I said, people need to know where they're from. Right, but it's facts though. I didn't make this shit up, whatever. And all. It was here before my people got here, before they came in chains and ships and shit. So I'm saying that to say that people need to be knowledgeable where they're from, so when they speak on it, they can speak well about, and factual and stuff. So I don't want to talk about things I'm not knowledgeable about. If I don't, I just be quiet and listen and soak everything up like a sponge. My dad always say, be quick to speak and slow to listen. You got 2 ears and 1 mouth. So back to what we were saying though about the New Orleans versus the whole state. Now, when we look at Louisiana, is 4.6 million people in the state. In New Orleans, it might be like 390,000 post-Katrina or whatever. But places like Broward County, they rep the whole county in Florida. So where Kodak from, you got about 1.9 million people or whatever. New Orleans, like I said, 390,000. That ain't nothing, and we still divided with that. Then you got Dade County, probably about 2.5 million people in the whole county of Dade. Now the state of Florida might be 24 million people, or 21 million. But Louisiana got 4.6. Georgia got 10 million. So when we think about numbers, we can't, I know everybody be on that type of kick, but I feel like since the internet, you can really see that people don't like certain people, and you see it and it kind of turn people off. So if I'm an artist and I'm going to do a show on Opelousas, but I always talk about I don't like Opelousas, they're not a part of Louisiana, we don't rock with them, we better than them, they're not going to support you, shoot yourself in the foot. That's like being a person running for a vote and you just disrespected black people, Haitians and gays. You think that people going to vote for you? You just insulted everybody.
I could give that nod to like a lot of artists, like from New Orleans, because like they always actually most New Orleans artists, but as soon as they get like a little buzz, if they heard me go to Houston or Atlanta, I'm like, you don't even, but you haven't took over Louisiana. You wonder why you don't get those shows. Like I told my man, I don't care what they say. I don't know no independent artist right now in New Orleans that actually gets show money.
Well, I mean,
like consistently.
Well, a lot of the females is like when I think about,
okay,
like when I think about, right, when I think about that. But see, they still, even when I see a lot of the females, they still try to move the shit forward because I see a lot of them doing big features with artists and stuff like that.
That's wrong.
Right, yeah. So, but the females understand the beat and they understand New Orleans. When I was younger, Soulja Slim and all that, UNLV. Partners in Crime, Pimp Daddy, you know, Weeb, all these people, Chopper, Master P, BG made Chopper on True Stories and Wayne. They understand Juvenile, they come from bounce, they don't look down on it. A lot of the younger guys, they look down on like, oh, I don't want to do that. But we come from a place with a rich culture, and they'll say, man, we need to get rid of our sound. Why? The sound is still evolving. Atlanta didn't get rid of trap. When they did try other stuff, it was fly-by-night stuff. They had the futuristic, it came and went. They had the party like a rock star type music. They had the snap music, lean with a rock with. Trap stood there, and it evolved from Gucci, G's, T.I. to Future, Lil Baby, and all of it. And it's going to keep evolving. They got a museum. You think they're going to let it go away? No. Jazz ain't go nowhere. Gumbo ain't go nowhere. Second Line ain't go nowhere. New Orleans still standing, and all those things have evolved from when it first started. So why do we throw the baby away? Right. Right. So we know it's alive and well because everybody winning with it. So we can't say, oh man, nobody don't like it. How? It's on the charts. The biggest artists doing it.
And with all the artists that you said, from Weeby to Soulja,
right.
Guess what? All them new to you, and you got to go to them small towns in Louisiana,
right?
Build that brand.
Right. Well, you think
all the artists right now they like.
But that's what I'm trying to tell you. How you think Tyler Perry became a billionaire? He did it through the chillin' circuit. Right. Ray Charles, James Brown, Motown, they hit the chillin' circuit. Gucci Man built this fan base. Yo Gotti, Dolph, the chillin' circuit. So if you shit on the chillin' circuit, right? If you shit on that, that's always a place that African Americans couldn't go nowhere. They could only perform in those places. Even in Harlem, you could play in black little club, but you couldn't go nowhere like American Bandstand. You had to go to Apollo and all the other little clubs that sell chitlins and collard greens and all that kind of shit. But what I'm saying is that if you go to the small markets, like Tyler Perry built this fan base in those markets doing plays, and look at him now, he'll be there. He didn't insult those people. He really embraced those people because that's the ones that people feel like, oh, we ain't gonna worry about them bunkers. Same thing with Sam Wall with Walmart. He said small town America spend money, not Walmart all over the world. People will say, well, we don't want nobody using our stuff. They're supposed to get big and go big. McDonald's, Popeyes, it started here with Al Copeland, it went all around the world. You're a good football player, you're gonna cut up in high school, you're gonna go big in college like Leonard Fournette, then you're gonna be all over the world in the NFL. Cause big things get big and go everywhere. You can't hold it in one spot. It's gonna be too big. Michael Jackson had to get out of Gary.
You know, speaking of him, of Leonard, like he went from New Orleans to Baton Rouge.
From St. Aug, right. But he stayed, and he tried to stay homegrown as much as he could. Because he could have left and went to somewhere in USC. He could have went to somewhere in Florida, but he stayed at LSU. Right, and he stayed here. So he tried, and he always wore the 7 on his neck. He got that pride. So that's what I'm saying. So that's what it's all about. It's about people like that in New Orleans being their heart. But like I said, we can't look down on the other places and shit on them because that's the same thing Atlanta got done to them by New York. When New York like, boo, we ain't trying to hit a South up. Now look at Baton Rouge. Now look at where Geedy Younger from, Bogalusa. They coming up now. All these, because a lot of people might be, they're hating the city. Well, why all these cities like Mobile, artists like No Cap and all them, and Rollo Rodriguez, all these dudes, they popping up out of place we never thought would come up because of the internet, but they know how to market and they travel and staying true to your roots. You ain't got to try to say everything Chicago's saying. It's cool that they win, but Vaughn is the best Vaughn. King Vaughn, rest in peace, King Vaughn. And G Herbo and Chief Key, they wasn't trying to be like New Orleans. They probably was inspired, but they were going to say everything Chicago and they hold swag to me. But
well, as far as with that, you know, I was in the studio with Smart. I told him like most artists kind of rap on like exactly and who they actually listen to. On like the most.
Right,
Whoever you listen to the most, you're gonna sound like a young boy.
Right.
You sound like a third.
Right.
Like who you listen to, like your rap flow, your style,
right.
Everything gonna be that person.
Right, but see, it's nothing wrong with being influenced because Deion Sanders is my favorite athlete. But you can't do everything like Deion. You gotta put your own little spin on it. You know, Mike, that's like Kobe. You know, well, Kobe did a lot of Jordan shit. So, but I ain't gonna say Kobe. Rest in peace, Kobe was great. But like LeBron was influenced a lot by Jordan, but he still found his own way, just like Allen Iverson. And then he was his own little thing. So if you just take everything that Lil Wayne doing, you ain't gonna have because Wayne was influenced by Jay-Z and Wayne was influenced by other things, but he found his own thing and then he was so unique. So if you just biting everything that you hear and you listening to them, nobody ain't gonna like it. They be like, man, you coming here looking like Michael Jackson and sounding just like him, you a wannabe.
Yeah, you gotta find unique. Like it was just like me, like I was influenced by Fat No.
Right.
Then turned to rap scene.
Right.
So you know, but I had to make my own trademark.
And that's why it's good, because you got your own name, Nolazine TV, and you inspired by fact.
People don't even know what the hell it is.
That's what I'm saying. So, and it sounds like a magazine, all that stuff. So it's a fire name, and then you just still don't cater to New Orleans. You sitting around New Orleans, but you still be inclusive to still include people from other places that could be on your platform too. But like you say, you was influenced by those people, but you put your own spin on it. So you just can't take somebody dish and say, I made gumbo. You took everything and made it the same way. You gonna call it something else? We're gonna get mad. So you gotta still, you could be influenced by Chicago, Jay-Z, Gucci Mane, but find your own way. Because Pimp C said, I was influenced by Run DMC and Willie D from Ghetto Boy, but Pimp C found his own lane. So the Slim was influenced by Tupac and Scarface, but Slim found his own thing because he was so New Orleans, and that's why he was so original. First thing, be original, because if you get your own style, nigga, feel you more.
Right. And like, just my goal with Nolazine, like, I knew the only way that I can actually help New Orleans artists is bringing the world into New Orleans.
Right.
And if I promote, if I promote New Orleans artists all day, all we gonna know is New Orleans.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. You cannot, don't never do that, Darren. Don't box yourself in. It always got to be a big picture, but you always trying to make sure New Orleans is in the mix, because it's all in your logo, it's all in your name, so they know it's in your heart. It's everywhere you go. It's everywhere you go, but at the end of the day, you got to still make it where more people go feel like they could be a part of it, because it's going to make it bigger. You don't want to limit yourself to a small audience. That's crazy. So that's like me. I talk about New Orleans stuff. I might be talking about Jay-Z. I might be talking about Easy. I might talk about Nipsey. You know, I might talk about Roddy Ricch. Anything. I want to have a bigger conversation. But everybody know from the Say Cheese stuff, I'm all the way about New Orleans and stuff like that, you know?
All right. That's just like your conversation, like, you know, like, as soon as I started Nolazine, like, it automatically reached out to like Baton Rouge artists and everything. Like, I already knew the only way I could become very successful is bringing other people into what I'm doing. Of
course. You can't be closed-minded. You have to be open to everybody, because everybody want to play the game. Everybody want to be involved. So when you shut everybody out, you make people kind of like, damn, bro, like, he don't see us, whatever we doing. And like I say, because so many people was influenced by New Orleans. So I tell all this all the time, you don't have to feel like they can't use the style. There's nothing wrong with them being influenced. I just like when they give us our flowers. But if they want to, but I feel like it's only right if I say Trill, I'm gonna be like, man, that come from Texas. I ain't gonna act like we made that shit up or whatever. I'm gonna say, you know, the Hot Boys did this, Jay-Z and them have everybody, you know, the Tims and Nas and Wu-Tang Clan and Biggie and them. Like, that's their shit, you know, so I'm not gonna act like these things can't. Everybody's influenced by something, but give them their flowers. Don't try to act like y'all too proud to say, man, New Orleans got that saying step, because BG was saying in '97 on It's All On You Volume 1. Don't try to act like y'all made this up, because the wheel was already made before y'all got here. So, like I said,
that's like bounce music.
Right. You know, that come from New York, hottest Queens.
The beats come from New York.
Right, and then some of it come from the Bay Area, and they put the brown beat on it, and then we got our own sound, and we made our own thing. And we made it gumbo, exactly.
So we make it gumbo.
Exactly. So it's nothing wrong with taking ingredients and taking lemons and making lemonade, but put your own spin on it, because that's what people want to hear. I hear dudes all the time DM me from Baltimore, from St. Louis, from the Bay, from New York, like everywhere. They be like, dog, we love that New Orleans stuff, and they be like, I be saying, man, you know, a lot of people be like, man, nobody don't hit it no more. I'm like, they like, we still love it. All you got to do is modernize it. I'm not saying, and you don't even have, and I be trying to tell them, everybody don't got to sound like Soulja Slim or Lil Wayne or whatever, dog. We had Magic, we had Soulja Slim, we had BG, Wayne, Turk, the Ghetto Twins, Mid X, you know, Mystical. I mean, you know, just so many different artists with so many different styles. You know, it was a lot of diversity, and they didn't sound alike, Fiend, all them. So why you feel like you can't be from New Orleans and be unique and still be great? They all was still New Orleans. They had that pride, and they didn't want to sound like nothing but the 504. And I feel like the internet, people get so influenced by what they see, and they see it working for them, and they're like, oh man, we got to do this because, you know, we got to just try to come up quick. Nobody not going to like no people that's not original. That's all I'm saying. You could be influenced, but originality, that's all I say, because I love...
You have to find your unique ability. Like just even like Cash Money and No Limit.
Right.
I'm taking it from them. Like,
of course.
That's what it is. Neither one of them became one household name until they made the whole world fuck with them.
Yeah.
That's what, if they brought artists from the West Coast to sign with them, they brought artists from New York and everything.
Right.
And both of them did the same thing.
Right.
People just didn't pay attention.
Right, yeah,
Like, they
yeah.
took the formula.
Right.
You got to bring the world into what you're doing. That's
Right.
what everybody wants to be a part of something, what somebody from New Orleans doing.
Yeah.
You just got to make it unique.
Exactly. Pete
can't follow
Dog.
the
When you look at the comedians from down here, everybody love the way they say their slangs and the way they act and their voices. That's what they love. That's what make them so unique. Is they be like, man, look how he talking, look how she acting. They love that. They love how we talk. They love how we say, baby. Excuse me. They love how we say, whoa, everything. I be still seeing a lot of my partners from Florida.
They still use it.
Well, I see a lot of my partners still saying it, dog, and a lot of them say "wolf for short" or whatever. We know that come from us, but it's nothing wrong with everybody pulling from everybody. But just like Chicago, they got everybody saying ops and stuff like that, and certain things, and that's cool.
Like now we saying, no cap.
Right. And but no cap. I heard Too Short saying no cap in the '80s. So I heard dudes in the Bay been saying it. That wasn't nothing new. And then some people saying high cap. High cap and no capping is the same thing. They was always saying it. But people are here, like certain rappers in certain areas that pop and saying shit, and all of a sudden they'll be like, oh man, they made it. No, they didn't. It was already here. Y'all just wasn't probably up on it.
I want to see how New Orleans artists go back to our culture. I want you to see shy, stunting. I want you to use the words that actually made us.
But we got some fire ones that we be saying all the time right now. That we make. It's just when we really get in our bag, we make shit up all the time. Cause we just that special in our own way. But we gotta try to stay as unique. It's just like anything else, dog. You put different ingredients in your food, you might water it down. If you put too much water in the root, it's gonna start watering the base of it down or whatever. You can't keep adding all that water and stuff in and stuff like that, so you're gonna bring it down. So like I said, the whole thing is keeping it real where you from, dog, and being original.
Put the damn hot dogs in our gumbo.
Yeah, don't put no hot dogs in there. That's not no fucking gumbo. I don't know what the hell that is.
Some people doing that in Louisiana.
Yeah, well,
I don't know about New Orleans.
I see that
chili thing right there.
Now, see, like I said, I still love. Like I said, I got Louisiana tatted on my arm and stuff like that. So I had this since I was 19. So people understand this shit deeper with me, and I feel like the whole South I love, like Texas, the Carolinas, Tennessee, everywhere, like all us in the South made the South really what it is, dog. And I don't be wanting to leave none of them out, Georgia, everywhere. So the whole Louisiana boost and all them, the dudes in Ratchet City, shout out Mr. Manning, go free him and all that, rest in peace, Ratchet Life. All them dudes played a part in our culture as a whole in this state. And I feel like we got more things we can relate to than we don't. In a way, because even though we different, our accent different, and some of our cities might look a little different, but a lot of them dudes is influenced by the same shit that came in because Master P lived in Baton Rouge and his label influenced a lot of people in Cash Money, did a lot of shows through the state.
A lot of babies out there.
Huh?
They actually made a lot of babies.
And they probably made a lot of babies. They had a lot of No Limit. They got a lot of No Limit babies out there.
Because actually, I'm like Mac have a son out there that rap.
See what I'm saying? So
yeah, a lot of
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So it's all love. It's all love, dog. And that's what I'm saying. P got a lot of love from the Bay. So to me, I feel like looking at his blueprint, P did down south hustle because he knew that I was gonna get the whole South on. You cannot turn everybody up. Now, if you're in a business, man, you're just a regular person from New Orleans, and you might feel like it's New Orleans against everybody. Cool, because they're gonna have people gonna still say, I don't give a damn what you talking about. But like I said, it's about more being unified. While we fighting each other in the huddle, those are the people winning or whatever. Even like when Pastor Troy, when I think about when Pastor Troy blew up or whatever, when he made a song No More Playing GA, No Limit had a stronghold on the rap game. And Pastor Troy, like, only way I'm gonna come up is I gotta go at No Limit. I gotta tell him No Limit boys, we ready to go to war, whatever in the GA. And Outkast and Goody Mob, when they was performing, even though they didn't want to let what his name is Pastor Troy perform that song, the radio station didn't want to. Goody Mob said, on our set, we're gonna save a little time for you to come up there, Troy, and do your song, because we're gonna stick with Georgia. And he did that song in No More Playing GA. And when he did that song, that set the fire for the whole Georgia to be on some anti-New Orleans shit. Now, I'm not saying that.
And I actually watched the interview with Pastor Troy. He said,
right.
Man,
that's why he won a belt. That's what the belt for.
He said he was performing that song and see Murder and walked up to the front of the stage.
Right.
He never been that much scared in his life.
Right, right.
And when he said, I'm like, No Limit, and like all the artists was like over 6 foot. I'm like, he's actually right.
Yeah.
And the shortest person probably
could have been Jim. Oh yeah. Well, even his cousin Jimmy too. Jimmy was Sean P cousin. But like I said, rest in peace. like I said, the whole thing is when Pastor Troy did that, that helped build his career. And like I said, Atlanta stuck together. And I ain't saying it always been rosy, because Gucci Mane, Jeezy, T.I., Charlotte, they had their little moments, Ludacris and all them. But for the most part, it never got bad where they fell. So that's what I respect about George. But it wasn't always just pieces and cream in Atlanta. Atlanta had their moments when they bump heads too, but they still stayed Atlanta though. So that's what we got to do. We got to still know that we got to build bridges. We from a city, if anybody should know that bridges matter. You can't get across the river without a bridge. You can't go to Slidell without a bridge. You can't, even going east, you got to go to the bridge, cross canal. Everything is a bridge. You know, so even can't burn. You know, even going to fucking Baton Rouge, you got to ride a bridge to get to St. Charles Parish. So we should understand how vital it is to build bridges and use them instead of tearing them down.
Right. Definitely right. So like, you know, me personally, but I actually like encourage New Orleans artists to actually go, you know, reach out to like artists from Appaloosa, different like. And that's the reason why I created Nolazine, bring all them different artists.
Right, to network.
You can reach out to them.
Create a network,
you know,
right.
And so you can build their artists, like, you know, just Appaloosas.
Right.
Matter of fact, I'm like, shout out, I'm like Flocka Trent.
Right.
And on the youngin. Like, you know, and they probably got a population of like 15,000.
Right.
But just imagine if you do a song with them, you take some of their people, that's gonna help your streams.
And they're gonna be really, really loyal. And the thing about when you go to those small markets, like you said, you gonna take pictures, you really connecting with the people. And they're gonna really remember you forever, because you can't, it's like they say, what politicians do, shaking hands, kissing babies. You really out there. So you can be on the internet promoting, doing what you're doing, but still get in the streets and let the people see it. Yeah, exactly. You gotta campaign, you gotta touch the people, you gotta let them feel you. And like you said, when you do cross promote with artists from Baton Rouge, different parts of the South Tennessee, Texas, you grabbing their fan base too, because you cross marketing. So that's why Jay-Z said, let me go do a song with UGK, because I'm gonna get all them people from the South to fuck with me. That's only the right thing to do. It's smart. It's just business. If you wanna be a businessman, you know, you gotta do business.
Okay. And let's bring it back to on earlier what you said, you know, why I'm like BTY Youngin was still in jail. You was, you know, but you go get some t-shirts, pressed up, CDs up, like, you know, like now I see artists just be happy with just posting their stuff on the internet.
Right. No.
So in my mind, it's like, you know, like
what would I do
internet
now?
marketing isn't just it.
Right. So if it was right now, we was doing it with Young, you know, that's why I said Youngin had a big personality. And that's why he was able to still captivate people with his personality and draw them in, and then his music was good. You gotta still be able to know how to show them your lifestyle and your personality. Like when I see Sauce Walker, he be on there with the ooey, and you know he got his diamonds, he's showing his cars, or whatever he got going on, he gonna show you his personality, his opinions and everything. Kodak, he's strategic. Kodak
did something about the West Bank, New Orleans.
See what I'm saying? That was smart, and he know her ass big as like, you know, so, and everybody in the West Bank loved when he said that, and people from New Orleans like, damn, Sauce Walker. Exactly. So you gotta be mindful that he wasn't gonna say nothing to make everybody mad. Of course not. He loved Louisiana, so he's gonna say something like that. So you gotta be strategic. Kodak do the same thing too. We might not always agree with what he say. Sometimes he might do, sometimes he might don't. But Kodak know how to get attention. He just like when Pimp C was on DVDs or Tupac was doing an interview. Now it's all about Instagram, so you gotta know how to do that and the music. But you gotta still get in the streets, and you just can't post links and send them to people all day and spam them. You gotta still be creative, and you gotta think or whatever.
We can bring it back to BTY Young, because I was around him as well.
Right.
Like, you know, just as soon as he came home. If he was straight on the West Bank, and we start building relationships. Like, you know, you get your average artist from on this side, like, I ain't messing with, I ain't going across that river. But how you supposed to build your fan? Like, if you want to go across the river, so I know you ain't going to Baton Rouge.
And then, you know, Youngin always had a lot of people like the Fisher that always showed him a lot of love. I remember he used to tell me that the people in the Fisher loved him like they loved him like he was out the 17th. Like, you know, that's where he from, but the Fisher dudes, so that's what I'm saying. And then, you know, he used to be in Kenner too, so Youngin had a lot of people that loved him in a lot of different places, but I know the West Bank, going to Baton Rouge and all that stuff like that, the guy, and he was working with Fee and stuff like that, so he introduced them to that Baton Rouge market, and then started working with Tech and Maine and stuff like that, so that introduced them to them. So the whole thing that's what it's about, is about creating allies and stuff like that, not burning bridge, you create allies, you know, extending the olive branch, being smart and being mindful, and you know, you gotta really play chess and stuff like that. So like I said, I think that he was doing a great job, and like I said, his music was phenomenal too. So you can't take away from just his personality and how he was doing it. It was that too, and then his music was really, really great because he'd been doing it since he was 13, 14. So he didn't just jump in the game and say, I'm a rapper. You know, not knocking people that do, but you could tell why he was so seasoned and so polished, because he had so much time to, you know, build his little
like
thing.
Also, you know, just him in general, like if a BTY, I mean, a youngin did burn bridges with anyone, like, you could be a blog, he gonna treat you the same way. You could be anything, like, he ain't trying to ruin a relationship because he don't know, you know,
who can help
him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like in New Orleans, I see a lot of artists, if they feel like, damn, dude ain't supposed to me, fucking it.
You can't,
you already burnt your bridge,
you can't get mad, you gotta wait your turn, dog. Like, you know, just like you reached out to me or whatever, I appreciate you so much for this and stuff like that. And you saw, I guess, the hard work you saw I was putting on and all that stuff like that. And you was like, man, I'm just watching me and just see what you're doing. You just kept seeing whatever got your attention. But I never got on Twitter and said, man, hell with Daryl, hell with this one. No, because I respect what y'all dudes doing. You putting your money in, you bought your camera. You know, you out here interviewing these dudes. You putting gas in your car, going and meet these people. That's you doing it to have a bigger dream. So I can't knock you. I got to just wait my turn. And people gonna see you, and then sometimes people don't, and that's still cool too because we can't catch everybody. And that's people understanding how business and how the universe works. So I respect what you're doing and all the other brothers and sisters that's trying to create the content and talking about what's going on in the city and with the talent, because y'all really matter, because we need y'all. Like you said, this is the new generation. Fat and all that, and them passed the baton and set the fire in you, just like Master P, baby.
It actually shocked me. Because like, you know,
Christopher,
like
Mr.
2 years ago, they actually interviewed me when I first started doing
See what I'm saying? Yeah.
And I was like, dang.
That's what I'm saying.
Shit, I grew up watching this.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, I like what you're doing. Like, but see, the reason why I really did it, because I was like, you know, like back in the Fat and all that,
right.
used to only like mainly interview in like 3 record labels.
Right, you're right.
Big Boy Records,
right.
No Limit,
and Cash Money.
So I'm like, who was all these other local artists that was big, like that's
right.
They got so many record labels that you know most people might don't know, like
unsung
like
hero, Mobile across the river,
yeah.
Tombstone, a lot of people and all that stuff like that. Slaughterhouse record with so it was a lot of them, like you said, that wasn't getting covered. And here you come.
I did something that nobody never did. I did like 300 interviews in like damn near 3 years.
Hard work, and that's the same thing Sean Cotton did. He got that camera, he went out there when interviewing people and built it and stuff like that. Rome wasn't built overnight, but like you said, people see that and your work won't go unnoticed. So that's the whole thing or whatever, and people got to
He set the tone for bloggers.
Right. That's what I'm saying, and I respect everything he did.
I asked him at the Saints and Eagles game, I'm like, you know, but do you charge artists for interviews with me? And like, as soon as he told me I could get paid for like interviews, I went and brought a camera.
Right, yeah.
Like, we just had like a 5-minute conversation. Like, do you charge?
Right.
Like, shit, I'm about to do this.
Right, dog. Sean is a good dude, and the best way to get his attention is on Twitter, because he loves Twitter. I mean, that's how I was always talking to him and stuff like that. But like I said, he a real dude, and he came from the bottom, and like I said, he had a dream with his camera and his laptop, and he wanted to make it happen. Same thing you doing, so the same thing you doing, you covering and giving people information. Just like somebody might get something out of this interview with me and you talking right now. And that's you did your job. And that's what it's all about, giving people different personalities from different perspectives and stuff like that. That's why I posted something on Instagram today about how Malcolm X was saying in his autobiography before, how the white media used to try to turn him against the other black civil rights leaders, like the NAACP, Martin Luther King and so many other brothers that was doing. And he was like, I'm not about to talk against them. When he got to that point, like, we not doing that, because y'all just want us to go against each other. We all got the same goal. We all want better for our people. We just probably got different philosophies and logics about it, but we all want the same thing. So you're not about to pin us against each other. And that's the same thing. It ain't about tan Nolazine now, or tan this one now, or tan that one now. No, everybody play a part, and everybody on the same team, and we all want the same thing. So shout out to everybody that's on that type of time.
If I see the rise, I want to see, like, actually me, I want to see, like, all the blogs down here actually become, like, very successful.
Right.
Because, I'm like, if that happens, we can start having, media packages and media runs with bigger artists coming
out. Right, because y'all gonna create an infrastructure where y'all have our own system now here.
Is, like,
egos?
Just that small mind.
Right, it's egos.
People like, man, fuck it, I'm better than them.
Right.
Just wait your turn.
Right. And your style different. Somebody can interview me. I got interviewed with other people, and they ask different questions. They got different style. Right. So just because Oprah Winfrey interviewed somebody, don't mean Montel Jordan ain't gonna interview a different Arsenio Hall. They gonna have a different thing of questions that they gonna ask the same guest. Because people go on press runs all the time. Artists do it all the time. But that's not gonna knock you.
Unless somebody's gonna try to take your style.
Right.
Just like my blog, like just my whole blog in general. I don't post no other media content. I only post music artists.
Right.
And I got another page for entrepreneurs.
Right.
So like I'm not into posting the news, what happened to this rapper or whatever. Like I'm only posting positive music.
Right.
So you know I don't be really caring about other people.
Right, and like I said, I'm doing something different from you, even though I don't even have a camera doing interviews, but I'm doing something different from you. So like Jay-Z said, what you eat don't make me shit, cause you still doing something different. But I don't have to knock you, huh?
See you making a podcast.
Man, people tell me about a podcast all the time. Mr. Marcello hit me through the DM. He's like, gee, bro, you got to do a podcast. And it's crazy because Mr. Marcello is the first person that I ever was around in the studio that was a major artist that I really seen on TV. He was in the studio with my cousin a long time ago. This was before Katrina. So for him to even tell me about a podcast, and it came full circle, I'm like, wow, like this man celebrating what I'm doing.
If a shout out on Mr. Marcello,
OG, boom.
On like mailbox money.
Yeah.
So he's telling you about that.
Right.
He wants to see you make, if he wants to see you actually, monetize what you're doing. Like, you know, social media, you can't get paid for that. So you probably want to start a podcast, start getting
KLC, all of them, bro. KL be showing me a lot of love. And it's so many of them, Lil Yacht from UNLV, Feel I Feel, Devious. It's like so many of them be giving my flowers and stuff like that, bro. And it just really mean a lot, you know.
It's like the culture moving forward. Like, we need everybody doing stuff to actually
playing a part,
remind people. Like, that was my goal too. Like, man, I'm trying to look for like all the older rappers.
Right.
And so all these, all these like 90 babies, 2000 babies, it can actually know what came before them.
Right. You got to know your history. You got to know where you're going and know where you came. You got to know where you're going.
It's like
came from to know where you're going.
It's like on like R.I.P. Weezy. Like, he had a conversation with me during the interview. Mm-hmm. He was like, back in New Orleans. They was rapping about real drugs. Right. Besides what like Future them doing, like they was talking about give me some heroin, baby.
Yeah. You know,
you're right.
You know, fucking partners of crime,
He was like, man, you know, and like as you see as the media, we talking bad about the rappers, we talking about the drugs, but like, you know, if there's so many artists actually make it on talking about
hard drugs. I mean, the fucking rock and roll stars did it. Sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Hard drugs. Them motherfuckers doing all kind of shit, acid and everything. But what I'm saying is that, you know, that's because when you know better, you know, you'll do better, or you can have these conversations because you know, like, they just can't say what black people was doing. All the white people was doing it. Y'all just try to act like we don't. Black people, like, even when the rappers rap about this gang stuff, they only talking about what they know. This the community that I come from, and it's filled with violence. So my music gonna be filled with violence sometimes, like Tupac said, because this is what I see. And when we go to seeing different stuff, we can talk about different stuff.
They gonna live you as a thug.
Right.
And try to catch you.
Right.
That's a rapper now. It's
right. So it's like you say, it's so crazy because the internet could be a gift and a curse because you can't go from being popping, from being a nobody to popping overnight. But sometimes you got to be mindful because a lot of people can have people in their crew and he might get on the page and say something that might disrespect this whole other crew when the main dude, the rapper, don't even know what he just said. But the younger rapper in the crew just said something that started a whole war. You got to be mindful of the people that you running with and what they say. Because they can say shit and mess everything up.
I'm like, shout out to Mr. Kane. Like, he was like, you know, every time, I'm like, rappers beef.
Right.
It was, and the whole time, but you know, but it's not gonna be like the rappers going to actually see each other. It's gonna be the crew members.
Right.
That's how something always happens.
Right.
Because the internet plays a part and everything like that.
That's why.
You know, it's like, he was just saying basically in general, like, you know, as a music artist, y'all should actually reach out to each other first.
Right.
Have a sit down and stuff before escalating. Because the whole time it's not gonna be y'all two.
Right.
It's gonna be the crew.
Right. It's gonna be them and all that. Then, like you said, they're gonna be egging on. Some of them people gonna lose their life and all that. So you gotta be mindful that you want to make sure everybody get home back to their kids, their wives, or their girlfriend, and their mamas and daddies, and stuff like that. So a good boss gonna try to be mindful and protect everybody and be mindful of the things that they do and the decisions they make because it could cost people their lives. So that's what real bosses do. Real bosses be accountable and they're gonna be accountable for their team. When we winning, we winning. You know, you're gonna take credit for that, but when we lose, you gotta take the credit for you fucking up and say it was my fault. I'm tripping. And even if you got friends in your crew, they gotta be able to tell you when you're wrong. Right. If you tripping, if you being an asshole, if you disrespecting somebody, if you disrespecting a blogger or whatever, man, chill out, man. You're gonna fuck up that. We're gonna need that later or whatever.
Yeah, but a lot of crews be having buku on a yes man.
That's the problem. And that's gonna kill everything. Because if you got yes men, my brother in Angola said, I could have one good friend better than 10 bad friends. Because you got all these people running with you, but none of them ain't worth shit. When it come down, you go to jail, or if you get killed, God forbid, they ain't gonna do nothing for your kids. They're not gonna send your mom and nothing. They ain't gonna go check on your people and all that. They're gonna be moving on with life. And some of them might try to mess with your lady. But these supposed to be your ride or die. Now you might have a couple of them, but all of them that you with, everybody ain't gonna really be for you. Some of them gonna be Judas, ready to trade you for a couple of pieces of silver and turn on the fence.
I don't understand rappers who like, who roll with like, you know, like 10 or more people. Like, if I roll with 10 people and I'm I'm a blogger,
right.
All of them gotta be benefiting my business.
Right.
You know, somebody go learn how to be a manager, somebody go learn how to be a cameraman.
Right.
It's no reason why I should spend all this money.
Right, you don't want all of them to be a liability. You want them to kind of be an asset and try to figure out how I can build them up, like LeBron helped his friends be better and stuff. So that's what I'm talking. And I understand exactly what you're saying. You want everybody to come up. Because real, like Damn Dad said before, you know, you want everybody to be everybody crutches. You want everybody to be strong. You want this person, if he fall off, this person could pull him up. You don't want everybody to feel like they depend on you and you got to always feed everybody or give them money. No, you want to try to figure out how to put them dudes, give them some money, or let them hustle their own pack so they can make money and eat off their little land. Give them their little land so they can work their own land. Don't try to bird feed them and stuff like that. Make them learn something. Teach me like, hey, bro, read a book. If I see y'all trying to do better, I'm going to go even harder for y'all because I see you want to do something instead of just being a shooter. Because that shit going to get played out when you get older, like Waka Flocka said.
I shoot for myself.
That's why Waka said when he was... Right, that's why Waka said when I was younger, I thought younger. But when I got older, I seen that wasn't the way. But I had to grow up or whatever and stuff. So you try to tell the people that, man, I don't want you to make mistakes that I made.
Yeah, but sometimes you don't, you know, everybody able to grow up.
Yeah, some people gonna make it the hard way, and then some people gonna lose their life. That's why they say a fool will perish for a lack of knowledge and wisdom and understanding.
Everybody had the opportunity.
Right. So some people will, and some people will get a chance to make it right and stuff like that, you know.
Everything a learning experience.
Yeah, definitely. Life is about lessons and all that. People always look at stuff when things go wrong as bad. No, it's a lesson to be learned. Everything, a bad friend, a bad relationship, a bad breakup, a job. You know, you learn and you live and you learn.
Okay. So what's your advice to somebody that's trying to follow in your footsteps?
What I would say is, man, just be true to yourself and all that. All I ever did is I read books. I watched a lot of interviews, I studied a lot of stuff, and I just kept never giving up and stuff because there's stuff in me. So what I would say is just like, be real. And I just talk from the heart and stuff. That's why when I was going viral on Say Cheese, that's what I was doing. I was speaking up for, you know, things that people in New Orleans was talking about in the barbershops and wanted to talk about, but they wasn't able to get on the platforms big enough to be able to say it, to address the elephant in the room. So I said it. So I was always feeling like I'm going to be the best me, and I'm always keep New Orleans in my heart and Louisiana and the South, and always stand up for us, whatever. Even when they say, man, he act like everything started in New Orleans, I don't give a damn. Nigga gonna know that you're gonna put some respect on New Orleans' name, man.
Somebody gotta see it.
Yeah.
Okay. Damn.
I'm doing the same thing too.
So tell the people, what's next for you?
Man, like I said, I hope. Like I said, I don't know. I'm thinking about, like you said, like you said, the podcasting. Because people keep telling me about that. And like I said, I don't know if I want to start the management company yet. Like I said, I just feel like I just want to keep doing whatever I'm doing and see where it go at. But maybe podcasting and stuff like that, because I do like to talk about a lot of different stuff, like politics and all that. And even, I want to throw that in there right quick too. I hope they make that 10-2 retroactive and stuff because it could free my brother and it could definitely free C Murder and it could give Mac Mac probably get a new trial, C Murder get a new trial, my brother get something going or whatever. With that 10-2 they need to abolish it. 10-2 since 1898, they need to get rid of that. Free all those people, like get those people a new trial, those 1,500 people that's incarcerated through the state of Louisiana. But like I said, what's coming for me, maybe podcasting, maybe the record label management, I don't know. I'm going to just let God just keep working and doing what he's doing, and I'm going to just see what it do and stuff like that.
Okay. And also, but last but not least, I'm going to tell everybody, what can they find on social media, on website?
Okay. On Instagram, you can find me at Geedy P Speaks. That's GEEDY _P _SPEAKS. Geedy _P Speaks. And my Twitter is GEEDY _P. So it's Geedy _P on Twitter. And shout out to Nolazine TV.
Nolazine, make them scream. Nolazine. Make them scream. Scream. Nolazine, make them scream. You heard me.